Alright, hey y'all, so I promised y'all probably a month ago that I was going to do a homeschool update, and I just got Ryan's homeschool stuff in from christianbooks.com a couple weeks ago. So I'm going to do an update and tell you what all I got and why I got it. So we decided to homeschool last year. We pulled him out of kindergarten halfway through because COVID kindergarten was like not his jam, and it was not my jam, and it was a lot of emotional, and it was very emotional and very mentally just it was insane. I could go on and on about that, but we'll do that in a different video, like a why we homeschool video or something. This one's just about what I got. Now, there are so many good resources out there. So many. And I did a lot of research. My sister-in-law homeschools her kids. She's got 3 that are in homeschool, and it's a baby. So, and then I have some other friends that homeschool as well. I took like 10, and I'll put a couple of them in the comments, like of those quizzes to see like my style, and I basically kind of knew it just because I've got a bachelor's in elementary education, so I kind of knew a little bit what my style would be. So that helped a lot. But those quizzes, especially if you've never like taken any teaching classes or anything, they're watching penguins. They help a lot. So Peyton is 3.5. I didn't get anything for him this year because we have plenty of everything's through play with him. Ryan he'll be 7 in November, so he's a little over 6. He's gotten back to where now, since he's been out, he likes to learn again. We've been making regular trips to the library and just really trying to grow his love for learning back to where it was before his confidence level went down. So, and building his confidence. So, what I did this year is I could have gotten, there's different curriculums. You can get little pieces of each of different kinds of curriculums, or you can get like whole curriculums that cover like all the bases. Well, back to when I was talking about I took those quizzes. Every quiz that I get is like all the points are like going more toward like an unschooling method. And before you freak out, that does not mean not teaching your kid at all. That just means really doing interest-led with your kid, lots of hands-on, it's like negative traditional school. It's basically the exact opposite of traditional school. Like everything we do is cater to what Ryan likes, all of his interests, and it's just to really get him to love learning. And so I didn't want to pressure him, or this was our first year. And I've got 3 kids, and I'm running a business and the farmer's market and a farm. So I didn't want to get too overwhelmed with like lots of stuff because I really liked the Abeka first grade curriculum, but it was just a lot of stuff, and I didn't want to overwhelm him. So we started on a little slower level, and we just got phonics, math, and science. We were gonna start with just phonics and math, but when I looked into this particular science curriculum, I knew he would like it. So I said, with homeschooling, you don't have to do the same thing every day. You don't have to do it at the same time of day. It's not like traditional school at all. So, even if we only do the science like once or twice a week, we're good. But I'll get started, and I'll start with the science. I got an Our Father's World science curriculum. It's the creation series. This book was not expensive at all. And I looked, you can get whole Father's World curriculums, and they're really nice and they're really hands-on. So when I kind of flipped through and looked at the samples, I liked how short the lessons were, and I liked how, since it's like the creation series, it's got a lot of stuff about animals and stuff like that in it, and so I knew Ryan would like that. I liked that it was God-centered, so, as well. So, I said that's a nice place to start. Anyway, for phonics, we just did Explode the Code. I've got 1 and 1.5. And looking through them, I'm pretty sure that he's going to be pretty confident in these because he's done stuff like this before. But I didn't want to put too much on him at first. I feel like he's closer to a second grade level in phonics, but for review purposes and just to go in slow, we started with 1 and 1.5. And Explode the Code's really popular. These books are like $6 or $7 a piece on Christian books, so it was really affordable, and the lessons are short and not, I don't know, they're short and to the point. Like, Ryan's the kind of kid, and he's just like me, he doesn't like busy work. So these lessons are short and to the point, and he can master them and go on to the next thing. And I like that because there's no need to, like, beat a dead horse. Like, there's no need. This is funny because when Ryan was in school, I asked him what he did one day, and he was like, I wrote the letter B 5,000 times. The kid, and, you know, they had, like, a letter of the week or something. And he's known his letters since he was, like, 18 months old. So he was so bored. And he was like, I don't want to write. It was like, it's not that he couldn't do it, but he wouldn't show them what he knew because he was like, this is stupid. And so he gets it from me. It's my fault. Whatever. So for math, we did this, it's a master books curriculum. It's super popular. We just got level 1. And I like it because it uses real world, like, examples. And it's got a lot of farm stuff. And we know somebody likes lots of farm stuff. So I like the way they give real world examples and stuff, and they use lots of farm examples in this particular one. So I think that's going to work out pretty good. Math wise, I feel like that he's about like a mid-year first grader in math, and we'll probably end up getting level 2 before the end of the year. But kind of like how my homeschool works is we're going to take breaks and stuff, like kind of like the regular school system, but I feel like it's going to be a more year-round approach instead of having those big fat breaks. And maybe in the summer we won't do as much, but maybe we'll take on like a reading program or summer reading program or something. Like we did that with the library this year, and they had a lot of fun. So we're going into it kind of slow. I'm learning. This is my first kid I've ever homeschooled, but since I've had, you know, teaching experience, even though it was high school, which I did do student teaching at an elementary school, I feel like that he's going to be okay. I was very nervous at first because of the judgment you get from people, but the more I look on Facebook and see how our public school is going, the more I'm like, I'm doing the right thing. And I want to share this video because I want people to know, like, it doesn't have to be hard. You don't have to do this 8 hours a day. I can literally pull from all 3 of these books, and we could be done in like less than an hour with his school. Another thing is we have so much more time for extracurricular things that he actually loves. Like we do music once a week and art on Mondays, and I feel like it almost makes for a better rounded kid. Now, I know they get music and art in public school, I know, but it's so much more hands-on when they have their own lessons. And where we go is not even expensive. It's not bad at all. It's very reasonable, and he thrives on it, and I can tell he's getting a lot from it. So where he's doing that and his school and learning all about animals on the farm, which is a class in itself, like basically he's in kindergarten or first grade, and he's taking an ag class by being on the farm. My hand's shaking. I'm so sorry. I lost a lot of blood the other day. And with our septic business, he's learning communication skills and stuff like that through that. So I'm really not worried at all. As far as Peyton goes, he's 3.5. He's still doing great with the babysitter. Babysitter loves him. He turns 4 in November, so I guess he's a little over 3.5. We'll probably start him later on. As long as he wants to stay at Miss Gale's, he can stay at Miss Gale's. And then when it's his turn to come on in, I'll probably end up getting the Abeka full curriculum for him. Because with Ryan, I had a lot more time to work with him, so he knew a lot more before he went to school. Peyton learns a lot from Miss Gale. He learned some stuff here, and he'll tell us stuff here. She works with him one-on-one. It's so great. But I think when it's his turn, we'll see where he's at. We're either going to start him at the kindergarten or first grade level and just do the whole Abeka. By then, I feel like that it would benefit him a little more. And once they get a little older and Peyton can understand a little bit more, which he's picking up quick, so it won't be long, you know, like you can get curriculums that are unit studies for different ages. So they can both be on the same curriculum and learn as a whole, kind of like they used to do back in the day before it was different grades. And that kind of, I like that because they can kind of work together and learn things together. There's mini units you can get, like especially in summertime. Like I saw these mini units. They have like a whole bird watching unit, and that's kind of cool because my kid literally watched some kind of TV thing about bird watching and found our binoculars and went outside and started drawing pictures of birds. And when I looked at that curriculum, they did a lot of stuff with that curriculum, and it was like $5. So it's really what you make it. It's not as stressful as a lot of people make it out to be. You just have to disassociate yourself with, you have to get yourself away from that traditional mindset because it doesn't have to be that way. Now, if you want it to be that way, great, do it. But if you don't want it to be that way, you don't have to make it to be that way. It can be your own thing. Like I'm doing a series, it's like an unschool Montessori kind of approach. Like you can totally do like a traditional, just get like a Becca online where they have to go in every single day and do, do that. There's so many different ways, but you make it your own. And I like that. And I like the fact that I can kind of have a little more control about what my kids learning. So, okay, that's all I want to tell you. I want to do an update. So if you're looking for any of these books, just check out christianbooks.com. I did research before I bought them, and that was the best deal. I'm sure, we may have some different thoughts about these afterwards, but we're going to try them. I'll give a little review later on about each one of them, kind of like a update video maybe in a month or so, and tell you what we think about them. We also ended up getting this book. This is a really cool, it's called How Great Is Our God, and it's a devotional for kids, and my kids love it because it's about like God and science, and they like state like these statistics, and they'll not compare, but they'll tell stuff about different types of science. Like they compare stuff to space and then talk about space a little bit when they talk about creation, and then they'll talk about animals. I mean, it's just really cool, and it gets them really interested. So, and since we're doing interest-based, it really helps. So, I've been talking for 12 minutes and 30 seconds. I'm going to stop. Let me know if you have any kind of advice on homeschooling. Like I said, I'm still new. If you, want to know how we're feeling about these curriculums or something, contact me on my social media, and I'll, let you know how it's going. Instagram is @HarrisHomesteader. But, yeah, have a great day. Make sure you like and subscribe. See y'all later.